I appreciate it. If you come on later, I appreciate that too. Still appreciate it. We're all good. Okay. So who am I? Just a little bit before we get into this topic today is I am the founder of the Comfort Killers. I wrote this amazing book on how to, move outside your comfort zone. You want to seek happiness. You want to change your life. You want to overcome anything. I really wrote this book to detail, like, to be really honest with you, to detail the journey that I started in 2016. So this is the detail of the journey up to a certain point. Now, I accomplished a few things in this, but I wanted to tell you how I did it. But how I did it is very universal because I believe we have the tools already inside of us to do it. So if you want to change your life, for me, it was overcoming a gambling addiction, an addiction that I really wasn't proud of. It had me, hiding and lying. Yeah, you got a problem? No, I don't got a problem. Okay, you got a problem. So I was lying a lot, but I woke up one day and I was like, wow, the real deal is inside of us. When you search for the beauty in the universe, it shares with you the wonders in yourself. Now, that's my quote right there. So I'm the founder of the Comfort Killers, also wrote this book to help you overcome really anything that you got going on, to move outside of your comfort zone, to really know your self-worth and what you're doing in life and put it out. So that's why I wrote this book. For anyone that's going through any type of challenge, any type of problems. I wouldn't even call things problems at this time in my life. But when I looked at them previously, they were all problems. Like you had a car problem, like, you had a money problem. Like, they were all problems. It never switched on the mindset to know that they were challenges. You know what I mean? So that's why I wrote this book here. I learned a lot in the journey, and I wanted to detail that and give it to my people, my Comfort Killers. So what do I want to talk about today? Well, I made a huge promise to myself today. I was driving. I had a networking event to go to, and I was driving in, and I stopped listening to a lot of podcasts. I used to, before in 2015, like, that's all I would listen to. My car was a moving mobile university. And, as I overcame the gambling addiction and as I started the company and I built that, I realized that I got, I kind of was lax a little bit, where I was like, oh my God, I'm not addicted no more. I could actually listen to music. Right. So, but too much of anything is not good. So you have to take things into consideration in moderation. So I noticed I was listening to a lot of Spotify. Spotify is a problem. Okay, I don't know if you got Spotify, but I was listening to a lot of Spotify. I even went back to have all your favorite artists have all their albums, like, bam, 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 bam. When I have shitloads of CDs and vinyl right there, when I could so Spotify is a great tool. So I found myself going way back in time with a lot of the artists that I love, and I was listening to too much of it. So today I decided, okay, you know what? I got to get back on my podcast thing. So I started pulling up a podcast. So I pulled up Dan Lok. I'm not sure if you know who Dan Lok is. Dan Lok, fat shout out to Dan Lok. Dan Lok is an amazing person, amazing businessman. He got an amazing service that he does to help people kind of being able to close high ticket sales. So I like his podcast. I believe it's called The Shoulders of Titans, Standing on the Shoulders of Titans. And Lisa Nichols was on there. And Lisa Nichols, I never really listened to Lisa Nichols, and she's amazing. I just tweeted her because I was like, wow, Lisa, did I just skip over you? Where what the hell? I apologize. But she was spitting some real good stuff. And I believe that anytime that you find something, right, at that right time, that those right time, those moments where it's like, it was for you, it was for no one else but you. How it even happened where I was like, I'm listening to too much music. I got to start listening to some podcasts again. And then I turn it on and I listen to Dan Lok. He's featuring. So, all those things are these moments where it's meant for you. Like this moment, you're watching this, somehow we attracted each other, and now you're right here, right now. So she was talking about self-assessment and not being able to, the reason why people don't live in abundance right? Like they have this mindset of abundance because they can't acknowledge where they were. And I agree with that 100%. Not being able to acknowledge where you are and kind of living in this fairy tale, like, no, that's not me, or making it more complex than what it is. Like, people want to say, how do I do that? How do I do that? I got to just work on action, action, action. And trust me, this book was completed by taking tons of action. And I believe that in order for you to really get that momentum, you have to take action. But then you get to this next level. And I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs are at this level where it's like, okay, you don't want to feel like you ever plateaued or you hit a glass ceiling of growth. You always need to expand. That's why we're here on life, man. We're here on earth just living because we're always growing. If we're not, then we're dead. Honestly, like, the opposite of growth is to die. So what Lisa said was important. I wanted to share that with you. And I wanted to talk about the only person that could call your bluff. And I know you probably know who I'm talking about. The only person on planet Earth that could call your bluff is you. And I'm talking about the promises we made. So I made a huge promise while, after I listened to the podcast, I said, I turned it off and I said, okay, I need to take a drastic step at doing this. And one of it is self-analysis. Okay. And really sitting with myself and writing out, A, B, and C, and what I wanted to accomplish, but not only so much what I want to accomplish, what behaviors and what action or what thoughts are revolving in my mind that I don't like. I don't like them, I was talking to Thelonious C. Jones, and Theo is a big proponent of this, where he says, man, if you're all the time 100% positive, then you're delusional. And I agree with that too, because, and hear me out, because you're like, oh, but I thought the goal is to be 100% positive. You're going to have, you're human. There's shit going on out here. You don't want to see someone. You're going to have it. But the thing is, and the most important thing is, can you bounce back after having that moment, or having that period of time where you're just like, oh man, that was negative as hell, Stacey. And that happened to me today because I had to drive all the way an hour out, an hour out. And I was like to myself, man, shit, I got to drive an hour out, instead of looking at the positives of it. Like, damn, I could probably knock this out in an hour, or I can't wait to see who I'm going to meet and network with at this place and this opportunity that I got. And the first thing that I thought of was, damn, it's an hour out. So I had to look at that in myself and say, damn, Stace, that was kind of neggy, but even acknowledging it, you are making a great, and you're really carving that out. A lot of people just go through life. They don't even acknowledge when things like that are taking place or how they're feeling. They don't acknowledge that because they don't want to. It's too complex. So to simplify things, I want you to know about lying to yourself. Because I made a big promise. So now I'm like, I can't continue lying to myself. You have to take a stance, and you have to really go forward with being honest to yourself, because the more lies you tell yourself, let's say even small little lies, like, I'm gonna pop up out of bed at 5 a.m. and I'm gonna start this book, or I'm gonna just read a chapter, or I'm gonna hit the gym, or you know what, I'm gonna eat healthy this week. Those are the little things we start saying. Okay, so we say it to ourselves, right? Boom. Then what happens? It's 4:58. Your alarm goes off, and then what do? Man, you start. Every time I have to say complex things, my Jamaican in me is like, it's hard for me to do it. Adding more complexity to it, right? So instead of just jumping up and saying, you know what, I made a promise to myself. And the reason why it's hard for us to just jump up and do that is because we've continued lying to ourselves. So even our subconscious and our conscious behavior is making excuses to justify. The easiest way to access that are those excuses. They're coming up. They're like one too many. Oh man, that's a lot. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna justify that. So if you are one that always kind of, made a promise to yourself and acted on it, then you're building that muscle. Like everything else, it's a muscle that takes practice and repetition, right? So let's say for 2 weeks, you got up at 5 o'clock because you promised yourself you would. So then let's say the 3rd week now, the thought of not doing it is kind of, it's suppressed. It's suppressed even more than the thought of saying, you know what, I got to jump up, because you've been repeating, you've been tricking yourself, and also you're actually following through on the promises to yourself. So the one that could call your bluff is you. And we've been already trained, I believe, no matter, and it's nobody's fault. It's not even your fault. But the acknowledgement of it is saying, you know what, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to hold this promise. I'm going to keep it. And I'm going to really, really go about my life on a different path. And then the wonders start to happen. That's how the beauty in the universe shows the wonder in yourself, because you could see that you're stronger than those emotions to sleep. You're stronger than the thoughts of negativity. You're stronger. You got strength. You got power. You got all this freaking juice now, and you can do it. To a point you get, after periodic repetition all the way through, you realize that, hey, listen, I can make any goal, because you believe in yourself now. You see what I'm saying? Your subconscious is like, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Stacy. Let's go. Let's bust it down, because you already proved to me on these other things that you could keep your word. So how do you trust yourself? How could you trust yourself if you're lying to yourself? How can anybody trust you and you're lying to yourself? So I want to just, bring back to you and say the bluffing part, we got to quit it. And I'm not saying as far as I'm talking down to you, like you got to quit. No. It's all of us, because we all get to certain levels and points and of our growth, and we have to get honest, and we have to say, okay, am I giving 100% here? Am I hiding here? Am I, acting a little, indifferent here? Am I negative in this area? We all have stuff that we go through that we need to analyze and assess, but also turn that page, because the action is the easy thing. Okay, just do some action. Okay, that's easy. But this belief system that we always have, where we have to kind of train ourselves that, hey, you know what? I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm going to be real with myself, and I'm not going to let myself down. That's where it's really important. That's what we work on. Hey, The Comfort Killers, the book, I'm not sure if you got it, but if you don't have it, you need it, because in this book, if you're seeking, if you really want to grab life by the freaking ball sack. I don't want to be explicit like that, but I just did. And you need the little punch in the face motivation and turning it to discipline. This book will help you. If you need some clarity, this book will help you. If you need to overcome anything, like I said, I outlined in this book exactly how I overcome gambling with no therapy, no meds. Okay, I just didn't want to go therapy. I was kind of like, I'm not going in that room and saying, and no disrespect or no offense to those that needed therapy or meds, but I'm saying that there is an alternative way, and you always have the resources inside you to change your life. And that's what I mean with this book. So I went this way. And if you believe in that, go ahead and cop the book. And you could get this on Amazon. Just type The Comfort Killers. If you go on thecomfortkillers.com right now, you're going to see this awesome free life tune-up that I have. It's 5 videos where we talk about 5 different things you could do to move outside your comfort zone. So if you want that, just head over to thecomfortkillers.com right now. And like I said, we got to remain uncomfortable, but we have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to make sure that we're putting ourselves first, and we're taking care of who we are, but also, living who we are. Instead of hiding behind lies, just live who we are. And that's the most important goal. And that is the point I want to get across in this video. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. You guys enjoy your day. Stay blessed. Remain uncomfortable. Do your thing. You got power. I believe in you. I know that you're going to do it. And just keep rocking with me. And we're going to get from here to here to here to here. We're going to do it all together. Peace. I am Stacey A. Cross, and there is no E in my name.